How y'all doing?
Good. Ricky, how you doing?
I'm all right.
So how are you feeling? I know it's kind of been an up and down year for you. You haven't been 100%. I know it was really grinding at you through the middle of conference play that you didn't feel healthy. But where would you say you are right now heading into the bowl game?
Right now, I'm 100%. I feel like I had time to rest. We had just the break in between the last game, so now I've had plenty of time to rest, so I feel good.
Yeah. So how would you kind of look back at this season for you? Obviously, you had big plans and aspirations going into it. Obviously, like I said, injuries played a large role. How would you kind of assess this year went for you?
It was definitely a learning year. I had to fight through a lot of adversity this past year, and really just learn myself and who I am, and if I'm able to handle it. And I feel like for the most part, I came out the other side.
Ricky, you mentioned that you had some downtime. How much did that really help you out? I mean, from the point the final game to this point to practice, how much did having some of those days off really kind of help you heal up and get ready?
It helped a lot. Like I was really able to recover, get in the training room, and just heal up.
Ricky, with this particular group too, you had what is objectively a solid defensive tackle core. I know you had that time to spend out. How much relief was there that they were there to fill the gap and do a pretty good job this year, and how much did that help you raise your game that you're trying to recover?
It helped a lot just because of guys like Lee Hunter, Matt Alexander, John Walker just being able to come in and just there's no drop off between the players. Everybody comes in and they produce and make big time plays when we need them the most. Like everybody in the room can do that. It's possible for all of us, and so just having them also elevates my game because I know I'm the oldest guy in the room, so I know I have to hold myself to a certain standard, for those guys.
Speaking a little bit on that, being the oldest guy in the room now, can you reflect on how that experience was this year opposed to different years?
It was different. Going back to my freshman year at Western Kentucky when I was 17, 18, they only brought in one D tackle that year, and it was me. So like the whole D line was 20, 21, 22, and I'm 17. So now I'm 22, and John Walker is 18, 19. So it's like it's been different being the older guy. They look to me, and so I really have to pay attention and watch what I do, because I know those guys are watching me.
Yeah. You're kind of like a coach of those younger guys in a lot of ways. What did you think of like a guy like John Walker, freshman All-American? Obviously had a great first season. What did you think of how he did this year?
John Walker came and he exceeded expectation. Any questions about John Walker, he's out the window. He's a guy. He's a player.
You're a freshman All-American too.
Yes, sir.
You talked about that development from when you were 17, 18 into the way you are now. What was the biggest thing that you think you learned during that process that you've been able to pass along to these guys and maybe help them kind of grow as you did?
The biggest thing I would take away is just probably just being able to work when no one's watching. Like honestly, like football, like you have to be able to take football home. Like if the only time you do football is when you're in the facility, you'll never be a great player. You'll be a good player, but never a great player. So just being able to go home and then maybe watch the extra film, or let me hit the weight room, by myself, and let me go run a couple sprints. Just being able to really just take it to the next level, like improve your work ethic.
That's part of you being that example as a teacher and a coach and all that. But let me tap into a different direction with you being the older guy. This year, you're one of those names that's kind of etched in the plaque there to be part of the first Big 12 team. What was kind of the biggest moment from that, and how is this something you're going to be telling your kids about? Like, how big a deal was that to have that experience?
It was definitely a big deal, especially being a captain of the team. So it was like, my name's front of this team. So we go as far as we carry us. But it was definitely a great experience. I can think back to my favorite game this year was probably Oklahoma State. And I know I didn't play, but watching the D tackles really get after it. Like I feel like the D tackles really controlled that game and they won it for us. So like I was a big fan of that game.
How did the injury affect you during the season physically, as far as limiting reps and kind of playing on a pitch count in some weeks, and then this past 3 weeks, in what ways do you feel as though you're fresher and ready to play a full workload in the bowl game? It
definitely cut back my load I was able to take on. Like there's some practice I couldn't go, some games I couldn't go, so it was definitely a about week type injury. But having 3 real weeks of just sitting, like just being off of it and really just taking care of it really helped me a lot.
Ricky, how bowl games sometimes go for some teams. Guys may not be playing, guys are transferring, maybe they're not down and focused, they're thinking of other things. Where would you say this team's focus is as far as Georgia Tech and the Gasparilla Bowl?
I would say right now everybody's focused and dialed in. We have guys in the portal, but they're still here because I feel like we're a player-ran team. We all really we care and love about each other. So we want to make sure we send the older guys out the right way. So you got guys who are in the portal and they're still here just because of the bond we have.
Obviously, you've been in a couple defenses before. you've seen Coach Addy in his first year. How's he grown as a coach to you guys?
To me, Coach A, he's grown. He's been way more hands-on than he was at first. Like, he went from in the press box to on the field, and when I say that, changed our defense completely.
Have you started to evaluate what 2024 looks like for you? Is it something that you plan to come back here? Is that kind of been in your thoughts at all?
Right now, that's something after I'm trying to get through the bowl game, and I'm sitting down with my family and the coaches and really just evaluate, everything and where I'm at, and I'll see what's next from there.
I know, Ricky, a bowl practices and give opportunities for some of the young guys, maybe to get a little bit more reps out there. Has there been some of the young guys that have stood out to you on the practice field as you guys get ready for this bowl game?
Really all of them. I've really just been able to watch them fly around because, like you said, they get a lot more reps. Braden Marshall definitely stands out to me all the time. I'm trying to think who's a good one. I really can't pick one. Like, I feel like everybody's kind of, we've been able to watch everybody fly around. It's been good.
So Rick, you said you're going to make a decision on your future after the bowl game. So I mean, this could be your last game at UCF. I mean, you said yourself you haven't made a decision. So what will you kind of remember about this UCF career, if it is it for you? Like, do you have a favorite moment, a favorite game?
I'm trying to think. Probably playing in the conference championship. Yeah, I know we didn't go the way we want, but just being there, it's always been just a humbling moment for me.
You talked about Braden Marshall a little bit there. He stepped up when Jordan Mask went down earlier in the season. What did you see from him as the growth when he became a starter?
I like his physicality. Like, I love DBs who can come down and hit. Like, I love that.
What do you know about Georgia Tech? Like, what kind of challenges their offense going to be for you guys?
Georgia Tech is a really solid team. Kind of like Alec Holloway was saying earlier. They brought back really the same O-line. I mean, they've added a couple new pieces, but really they were a solid O-line last year. They're going to be solid this year. It's going to be a challenge. The quarterback, he's a playmaker. He's not just going to stand there and take sacks. He's a playmaker. He's going to make something happen. They have really good receivers. So all around, it's going to be a game where we're really going to have to come out and fight.
Guys, all set? All right.
Appreciate y'all.
Thanks, sir.